look at you, fancy pants, showering and everything.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hello, hello. Everybody's early. You guys are early.
I like pink.
Thanks. I got it for $5 at Target.
Even better.
It's like a giant fuzzy sweater, and it's not even itchy. And these are the kind that look itchy.
It looks itchy.
Yeah, it looks itchy. Check it out. It's kind of like a droopy,
I like it.
a big one. Yeah, I got it for $5.
Oh.
Clearance rack. Yeah, who's watching the Super Bowl? Are you guys watching it and you're taking a break? Are you not Super Bowl watchers? No. Everybody's like, I'm here early because I don't care about the Super Bowl.
Pretty much.
We don't care a lot. It's on, but we're not too worried. It's just, I like the commercials. I think that's everybody's favorite thing. And I feel like I was like, are commercials still a thing? Even though most people watch TV we watch it on Hulu, it's not even like regular TV, but the commercials are still good. So it's the same. Nothing is different about those. Hi, Diana. Hi, Angie and Alicia and Nikki, Stacy. There's Marlena. Hey, guys. And Mom. And where's Molly? Oh, Molly disappeared. She's gone. She was here, but now she's gone. For some reason, I'm having one of those Washington days where I feel like I can't get warm. Like I just, I'm staying cold. And that didn't always happen to me on different parts of the country, but it does happen here. When Molly came to visit a couple of months ago, she said that was what stood out to her about visiting Washington, was like feeling chilled.
Forever. Like, yeah. That is not what happened the first time I went to Washington.
Yeah, it is cold, just kind of in a weird, damp basement kind of way.
I grew up in Oregon, and it gets into your bones and it just almost aches. You're so cold. Yeah. Even if it's not that cold outside.
That's accurate. It's like there's lots of colder places, but I think it's because we underestimate how the wet cold will affect.
It's the wet. Yeah, for sure. It's the wet.
Yes. Yeah. I'm already looking forward to, I'm seeing some little sprouts in my garden. Some of the bulbs are starting to pop and I'm like, yes, bye winter.
Yay.
Yeah. End is in sight. Well, we'll give everybody a minute or two, but I have a feeling our Fitme family meeting will be smaller tonight because it's Super Bowl. And there's not a lot going on these days out in the universe. And so I bet doing something in your house like Super Bowl is something people are doing. There's Natika. Hey. All right. Sweet, guys. Let's see. Let me check Facebook real quick. Then we're gonna get started. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, let's just get right to it. Welcome to our Sunday Fitme family meeting. A couple of quick things before we get going. First off, we have a handful of brand new people in Fitme that are starting this week. I don't see any of them on here right now, but they'll probably watch this on the replay. So I wanted to just welcome all of our newbies. If you see them in Facebook or somewhere else, just say, hey, they're going to be doing their reset this week, their first 7-day reset. So if you see some reset posts, they are brand new, getting started. And so definitely give them a high five. And just as a little reminder for everybody, after this call, you'll get some sort of action step. So our Fitme Family Week starts like this, all together on the call or catching the replay. And then you send your coach a message with the answer to the prompt. And then they hit you back on Tuesday with any coaching advice, suggestions, questions, all that good stuff. And then you just have an amazing week. So I don't have any other announcements other than that. So we get to get right to our topic of the day, which is one of my favorites. Last week we talked about seasons. And for all of our newbies, don't stress it if you're listening to this later, but I thought the conversations that happened after that call were fantastic. Like I heard a lot of people having conversations about like, man, I never even considered what season that I'm in. And so it really, really good conversations that happened last week after our call. So I'm kind of hoping this week does the same thing, because this week's topic is all or nothing. We bring this up a lot in Fitme because all or nothing is one of those sort of like sneaky things that have been trained into us forever as a positive. And then in actual real life, it doesn't end up usually being a positive. And so what I mean is all in or all or nothing usually comes in when we get excited to start something. We're like, I'm going to do this thing and I'm all in. Like, I'm going to do it perfect for the next 30 days. And we get real amped about that. Or we're like, I'm going to wait just a little bit longer because I want to make sure I can do X, Y, and Z and it'll have my full attention. So I'm going to be all in. We are told like the rah-rah stories of like, you need to make that decision and get ready and all in. It's going to change your life in this moment. So we hear all that and it feels like a positive. But in application, it tends to give us this pass, right? Like, for example, let's talk about the 7-day reset. Okay, so we have our new members, they're starting their first 7-day reset. Everybody's done at least one. If you approach the 7-day reset with an all or nothing mindset, you may not get very far before you've missed one of the boxes that you're supposed to check. And if you're an all or nothing mindset, well, then you're like, well, screw it. I kind of already messed it up. I'm going to have to redo it another week. And you write it off, or you get frustrated with yourself and you say, well, I can't really do this, I guess, because this doesn't apply to me. And if you're in an all or nothing mindset, well, then it all has to be perfect for you. There's no reason to like consider the things that need to adjust a little bit. It's like, well, that doesn't work. I'm not doing it for me. But it gives you this pass to step back and say, well, I don't need to work on this. It's the same thing with the plate challenge, right? So we've all done some version of the Fitme plate. All or nothing mindset would be, well, my plates are going to look a little different, so I'm not doing that. Or like, I can't do that consistently, so I'm not going to do it. Instead of approaching like, what am I going to learn from this process, even if it doesn't look perfect or exactly the same as everyone else's. It's way more uncomfortable to approach it with that like in between, because again, we've been told that that's bad. You've been told your entire life that modifying something to actually fit your real life is a cop-out, or like dumbing it down or whatever, you're not really doing it. Instead, we at Fitme want to flip it and say, whatever it is that you can do, you should do. Like, so again, if you're looking at the plate or let's do the 7-day reset. So you're looking at the 7-day reset and you're saying, well, I can't do all of those things. This thing doesn't apply to me, so I'm not going to do it. We flip it and say, whatever you can do, you should do. So if you only want to approach environment right now, then that's what you should do. And if you can only do 5 out of the 7 days, then that's what you should do. You should push yourself to that uncomfortable middle space of like, man, that didn't go perfect, but I guess it went better than last time. And I wouldn't really, I did learn X, Y, and Z through this process, but I didn't nail it. It wasn't perfect. That is the really great place where you start to unpack what has to change or what has to improve for us to tackle some of these goals that we have. So all or nothing, it's a nice idea, but when we catch ourselves in those all or nothing mindsets, we have to step back and say, okay, well, what's the alternative to all or nothing? I'm going to give you what it is. It's little wins. little wins. That's what we use inside Fitme to replace all or nothing. So maybe you said, okay, my goal is to have my tracker green for 30 days. I have a couple of people who told me that that's their big goal right now. They really want to be on point, their tracker green. I think that's a fantastic goal. But when life throws them a curveball and they get their first red day, the alternative is, okay, well, what was my little win from like this first day, these first 10 days that I did, or even this day that I checked red? What was my little wins? Okay, I still did pretty good, even though this didn't quite happen. And now I'm going to keep going. And so we need to practice little wins, because that is an effective strategy that works in your real life. Sometimes multiple little wins add up to a pretty perfect day. Sometimes little wins can even add up to a perfect week. But when they don't, you're still in the mindset of little wins, because maybe your whole day went to crap. Everything you planned did not happen. You forgot your lunch that you packed. You did it the night before, but you forgot it. You ended up grabbing something quick out the door and it wasn't even something you wanted. It was like a kid's bar and you're pissed because you grabbed that. You ended up not getting to work out because work made you stay late. The whole day felt like a mess. And all or nothing would be like, ugh, that whole day was a disaster. But again, we used a different strategy in Fitme. Instead of that all or nothing, we say, all right, today was hard. What are my little wins from today? And maybe you can only think of a couple. Maybe it was just, hey, I did drink that glass of water with lunch. Or, sometimes I get pissed at myself when I do this stuff. And today I wasn't that hard at myself. It just was disappointing. So there's so many ways that you can like deliberately search for those little wins. And by doing that, you keep the momentum going. You're able to not just be kind to yourself, because I know that sounds like the point. Like, oh, if we're all or nothing, then we're just kind of like not giving ourselves any grace and we're being too strict and then like all of that. But it's not just that. Remember we talked about the way to get to, especially if you're trying to change your physical body, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to get stronger, if you're trying to be healthier, take care of yourself, if you're trying to improve your mindset and, your body image, the way that you actually get there is consistency. And so the only way to keep consistent is to have a strategy that allows you to start again tomorrow, keep going, keep going, keep going. And that's why all or nothing can be so problematic, because it's the exact opposite of that. And so it doesn't mean that you can't set goals. Like, I want to be on point for the next 10 days. I think that is a fun I use that myself. Streaks are fun. I did 100 days last year of 10K every day. And there were so many times that I didn't want to get up and walk, but I did just because I had the streak. So streaks can be super motivating, but if my mindset is, well, it's all or nothing, then when that streak is over, walking is over. Like, I broke my streak, so I quit. Not doing it. And it was too hard to get to that many days, so I'm not doing it anymore. It's just important for us to check our mindset and make sure that we're saying, okay, what are my little wins? What are my little wins? What are my little wins? And then we can celebrate the milestones of accomplishment, whatever it is. Those consistency accomplishments are what we celebrate. But all or nothing comes up quite a bit. We've practiced it our whole lives. We find ourselves talking that way just by accident. It's in our language. And so we have to work hard at creating something that's different. So this week, your target is really simple. Like, whether you are in your 7-day reset, you're just starting, whether you are in one of the 8-week programs or wherever you are, it doesn't matter. Your target is the same, which is every single day, Monday through Friday this week, I want you to send your coach one little win. One little win. That's it. It can be anything, but you think about your day and then one little win. And so we're just going to practice it for the week. And that's your target. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Let's chat about this, like all or nothing mindset. Where does it pop up for you the most? And has it been, there's like no wrong. So, I mean, if you want to tell me that it actually helps you, I'd love to hear that too. I think we should, have a conversation about it, but I'd love to hear where you find yourself in that all or nothing mindset. Yeah, Stacy. Hold on, you're muted. You got to unmute yourself.
Sorry.
You're good.
I find that I have it more daily that I have that problem than during the whole week. So like if that day I start off doing something, like whether it's eating something that's not a Fitme plate or going off kind of off the rails, then that day is gone. Then I tend to just waste that day instead of picking up. That mentality of stopping it right there and then moving forward with the rest of the day, doing well. I tend to lose it after that. And I will pick it up. I am pretty good about picking up for the rest of the week, but that day is shot for me. So that day it's a daily problem for me more than if that makes sense.
It does 100% make sense. And you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of how much we like neat things. Like it feels good to have checks. It feels good to have like the green squares. It feels good to have like a day that goes as planned, or, and so that is a good thing. That we like that kind of order. So when we have a day that starts off bleh, it's easier in our mind just to be like, that's a wrap today. Today I'm just crossing that one off the list because I'd rather not even deal with today. It is much more challenging to be like, okay, let me just get back to it. Way harder. But I like that you said that, Stacy, because you are definitely not the only one who feels like that, where the morning can throw you off. And that's another reason why we talk so much about the mornings, being important, because it's easy to feel like that. Angie, what were you going to add?
Well, I liked Stacy's thought, because I struggle with that too. And I've run my own business for a really long time, and that forces me to have to be very organized and be very organized. Anyway, so I tend to have that mindset too, that, if my food or my activity level falls below what I have planned and it doesn't fit into that part of my schedule, then it doesn't matter. Like, okay, well, nobody cares anyway, and it's not going to make that big of a difference. And so why bother? So I struggle with that a lot too. And then that gives rise to all that negative self-talk. Well, you're just a failure anyway. And so you don't have to try tomorrow either.
Mm-hmm. Do you try to get out of that when you're feeling like that? Like, have you tried any strategies? Well, like what kind of strategies do you use that sort of get you out of that place?
Well, I do try to look for the little wins. And actually, what has been the best for me just in the last 3 weeks that I've been part of this program is that 7-day reset little tracker thing. I put stickers on it and I keep using it over and over again. So like I have got like 5 of them printed out, and they've got dates, like a week date on them. And so that even though I don't necessarily share that with my coach, Christy, it's an accountability tool for me. And so it makes me, if I start having that thought process of, well, it doesn't matter anyway, I have to remind myself, well, then I don't get to put a sticker on my on my tracker.
I love that though. I'm so glad that you use that. I know a lot of people use that, or some piece of the 7-day reset over and over and over again, if not like how you're using it. So I love that.
I have discovered, I was talking about this with Lauren the other day on my check-in call, that I really because I'm trying to be consistent this year, consistency to being perfect. So learning that, just because I'm not being 100% perfect doesn't mean I'm not being consistent. And I was really doing that with the Fitme plate challenges. because I was thinking that if I didn't have like all 3 Fit Me plates, then I wasn't, eating well and being consistent, but I'm still having good plates. It's just that they're not 100% Fit Me plates. So it's just recognizing that you don't have to be perfect all the time to still be consistent and on point.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's accurate. And in fact, that's one of the things that we make people super uncomfortable about, like from day one, because they're like, well, where's my list of what I have to do? Where's my meal plan? Where's my list? And they're like, how many Fit Me plates do I have to eat? How many can you do today? It's very uncomfortable to have it put in your like ballpark like that, because then it's like, well, like you said, Nikki, like you feel like, well, I'm supposed to be doing 3 a day. Well, maybe not, wins for you might be 1 or 2 a day, just depends on the day. And that's why at the very beginning of this call, I was saying that you should do what you can do. And again, like that's such a different sort of way to think about it. But if you're coasting, and you're not pushing yourself hard, well, then that's different, right? Like then step up and give yourself that push and say like, you know what, there is 0 reason why I can't go for that walk or get this workout in. Like I know today didn't go as planned, but I'm gonna get it done anyway because I can do this. And there are other days where you literally like life threw you a poo-poo sandwich and you just barely making it, and drinking a glass of water is the win, and you should give yourself credit for it. So it just depends. It depends on the day, and no coach or no program is going to be able to do that for you. That is a personal accountability type of thing where like communicating it can be really helpful. But at the end of the day, it's just you and you, getting out of that all or nothing place. But communicating that to someone can be really helpful. So the other day, I remember my day had kind of turned into like a poo-poo sandwich. And I was like, I thought that my food was terrible, that it was in my head. Today was a mess. Like I ate so bad. That's what I said. And then I said, and I was telling this to my husband, Josh, and I said, for breakfast, I had like 2 eggs, and then I ended up having a bar. And then for lunch, I had this like leftover salad, and I ended up snacking on this stuff. And then when I said it out loud, I was like, that wasn't even bad. It wasn't bad at all. I had just like told myself this story. I mean, it didn't go as planned, but it wasn't bad. So saying it out loud can be really helpful, and like thinking through, okay, what did I do really well today? What was like a good win for the day? That can be a really good practice, because we like to focus on the negative.
I was going to say, for me, one of the ways that I tend to do all or nothing is that I'll, like in the past, it would be like on Monday, I'm going to start on February 1st, I'm going to start on, whatever. And then if I did or didn't start, or if it would be, all or nothing, or I would get 2 days in. So I think that's another way that I would all or nothing personally was, set these days, and then the days would come and go, or I would do a few days. And then if I didn't do it perfect because I had set this thing, then it would all go to hell, and instead of the little wins concept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's another one where it's like, it sort of feels good to have a date to start on, and like to think, oh my God, this month is going to be better because I'm starting this thing on February 1st. I'm in, I'm doing it. But you're right, Nikki. It's like, well, then on day 2, and it just doesn't go well, it's like, well, I guess I can't do it this month. Yeah, screw it. So it's like a nice idea. It's just when we actually go to apply it, it doesn't work. And the last thing I'll say about this, and I've talked about this before in regards to the hype, okay? Because there's a lot of like energy that comes from all or nothing, social energy. usually it's like related to a challenge, or like everybody is doing this or everybody's doing that. And so you're like, I should do that. That's what they're doing. And I want to be with these people and I'm going to do it too. So there's a lot of social energy. I want you to know that the energy that's associated with what I'm suggesting you do is individual. That like pride that you'll take in not being all or nothing is a very personal thing, as opposed to a social high five. On the day that you have, you know, kind of like it didn't go well, or even a week that didn't go well, and you finally get that workout in at the end of the week, like your Fitme family's going to cheer for you, but nobody else is going to understand. They're going to be like, you did 8 days of nothing and now you did one workout and now you're high-fiving yourself. Like, what the hell? It doesn't even make sense. We understand, so we're going to like cheer you on, but also start to think like, I'm going to take personal pride in that moment. Like, I got right back on it after 8 days of bananas, you know? And just know that it feels different when nobody's watching and nobody's like, yay, we're all in for 30 days. It's like, there's magic happening in those moments. But it's solo sometimes. Yeah, Ellen, good to see ya.
Hi. It's funny that you're talking about these challenges, because I realize I get so stressed out about challenges because I've tried them over the years. Like, oh, I'm going to try this 30-day plank challenge. And then like day 4, I'm like, forget it. And then I hide because I don't want to tell them that I didn't finish, or like I, you know, end up like avoiding the people at work. I do anyway. So I realize that those stress me out. So I like the fact, like in this community, like his last week, I fell off the wagon hard. Like I just like kind of disappeared, but then like, nope, like today I made my bed, which was like, when I did my laundry, I'm like, oh, I'll just leave the sheets and until these ones are dry. I'm like, no, because I want to go back, tell the community I made my bed. And so I like not having to be embarrassed by falling off the wagon, or because you're right, the community, they're like, woo, like, hi Angie. So so thank you. It is nice to, like, I printed out my template challenge, but it's personal. It's not like there's this time frame for it. And if you don't get it done by Thursday, then wow, we won and you didn't. There's none of that. So I appreciate that. So I'm done.
I love that you made your bed and that felt like a victory, because it is. These are like little things that we can do that, again, little wins add up. They really do. And they add up not just because you made your bed and that's nice because it's orderly. It makes a difference because now your head feels different. You're like in a different headspace. When you take off your clothes that you feel crappy in and you put on clothes that you feel good in, that may not have been easy to do, but that's a little win. Like, it's something that your brain is cued for. Okay, you know, I'm going to do things a little different. Everything you eat after that is slightly different. You know, every step you take around your house is different. Like, isn't it crazy how, like, if you're in, you know, sweatpants, and I love sweatpants, so there's nothing wrong with them, but I'm just saying, like, if you're in your sweats and your Snuggie and you're like on the couch, you probably only take like 1,100 steps because you don't feel like it. Why would you feel like it? You're not dressed for it. You're dressed for couch, you know? So just something as simple as putting on your tennis shoes changes what you do the rest of the day, because you get up and you move, or putting on a different pants. And so making your bed is such a great little win. So I like that, Ellen, and you're right. There is no judgment here because that's what we're doing. We're doing this together in the context of real life. There's also no judgment when you find yourself in all or nothing. Sometimes it happens. We get there all the time. I've been there plenty. Like I talked about last year when I did that 10K challenge, like I did really good, but then as soon as I stopped, I fell off for a bit and I was like, man, there I was, all or nothing, 10K or bust, you know? and the bust looks like 4K. Well, that's dumb. There's zero reason why I couldn't, you know, go for an extra walk, even if it's not 10K. So I've fallen into it many times. Sweet, guys. Well, I love this. So your homework for the week is one little win every day that you're going to send to your coach. And so wherever you're at, that's perfect. These could be little wins in the context of a perfect day where you have a whole bunch of wins and you're just going to share a little one, or it might be the only win you have that day, and that's fine too. Like wherever you're at is great. Let's take a quick pick. If you guys are listening to the replay, we missed you, and we will see you next week, non-Super Bowl week. Hold on, I gotta clean this off. All right, guys, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, have a fantastic week. I will see you all soon. Take care.